Baby Bumkin. Today we're going to visit Gilgal Gardens, the Hermetical Gardens of Bishop Child, in Mormon Hermetica, pt.4. Here's Thomas Battersby Child Jr., the artist of these gardens that we will go see. Now, clear back in the old days, you'd have to hop this fence, jump over this little post type thing, and jump into the place, and it was completely overgrown with shrubbery and with vines, and it was called Stono Park. People would come here at nighttime and sneak around, but it is just an amazing place. Here we are, Gilgal Gardens! Welcome to Gilgal Gardens, the creation of Thomas Child Jr., Bishop Thomas Child. This is the very man himself, also known as Mr. Wickpants. It is an example, if we could see it metaphorically, as the magician card of Mercury. The Wickpants are the scales, and him being fashioned into the old aeons. But as any magician, he has the powers of all the tools of his trade, the trade of a Freemason, and the compass and the square, and the hammers, and all the different tools of the Mason. Thomas Child was an inventor of the last dispensation, and was just a very incredible person, and he put all kinds of sacred and secret metaphors in his artwork. And as far as outsider artists go, he is just one of the main people. This park has been depicted in various films, such as Plantain from Outer Space and many others. Now what we see here are the three different sacrificial altars of the last dispensation, which was controlled by the demiurge Yahweh. We have Adam's altar, the altar of Moses, and then the human sacrificial altar of Father Abraham. But these are the altars of the last dispensation within their three different degrees. And here we have the statue of the faceless warrior and the sacred circle of the 12 stones. He is the faceless warrior that brought down the walls of Jericho. But here, in his imagery, is the sword of truth and balance, and the fact that he is one of the gazers of the Islamic priesthood, with his head depicted as a seal stone, or a giant boulder. Now here is the peace sculpture representing the truce between the last dispensation and the peace that will come about after the warriors and everyone puts their swords aside. It's a very sacred sculpture. Now there used to be an almond tree buried here, and it represented that thou shalt flourish. The grasshopper is thou shalt be a burden, engraven not the silver code shall be loosened, and the brown pitcher is the pitcher shall be broken at the foundation. The broken wheel inside the little hut is the wheel broken at the cistern. You know, that's the head of the old man. In spite of ourselves, we get sick, weak, and die, and we are not the masters of our bodies, of our situation in the mundane world. This is the cave of Malachi, and you can see a white heart here, and across from it there used to be a red heart, but some dip crappo stole it, and now it is no longer here. But it's very interesting, and you can see all these different awesome engravings and writings and quotes from the Bible and the Book of Mormon and poems that are throughout the gardens, and just makes it an incredibly interesting place. Now here is the shadow giant from the biblical story of Nebuchadnezzar's dream. His head was made of gold, his breast and arms of silver, belly and thighs of brass, legs of iron, and feet of iron and clay. This giant was destroyed by a stone cut out of a mountain without hands, and becomes a great mountain that fills the whole earth. This is interesting because the way that these stones were carved by Thomas Child and his helpers was with a blowtorch, and it was actually done using a fiery blowtorch, and that's how these stones were carved. It's a very unique process that isn't done very often. It's an oxyacetylene torch. Now this hill is supposed to represent the keystone of the Alpha and Omega, and the Mormon priesthoods, which are first the Aaronic priesthood, or the Lesser priesthood, the Higher priesthood, or the Melchizedek, or we have the Islamic priesthood in the LOA, which is the highest of the highest priesthoods. Here is the angel Moroni, and this is interesting. You'll see most of the time on temples, Moroni faces the east. In Gilgal Gardens, he is facing the west. But there are different scriptures within the LOA church, and the heralding angel of Moroni, heralding the new age and the new dispensation. And from the keystone to the reason everybody in the whole entire world comes to visit Gilgal Gardens, and the climax of our episode is the Joseph Smith Sphinx. Here is the temple upon his breast, and it's the west side of the temple, Salt Lake City temple, that has the Big Dipper on it. And here we have Joseph Smith Sphinx. He is the mystery of mysteries, the key to the everlastings of the everlastings. Thank you so very, very much for coming to Gilgal Gardens with me today. This was just a beautiful experience for me, and I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm Baby Bumkin. Thank you. I say these things in the name of Amen, Son's Amen, Son Amen, and Amen.